Thank you for sharing your Wednesday night with me. I'm JB Bryan, the Chief Investment Officer and President of JB Bryan Financial Group, a registered investment advisory firm and the home of AfroEconomics. This is the AfroEconomics.com website behind me. Please make sure you check it out. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you get involved. Make sure you take advantage of the membership. There's even a membership that is absolutely free. Yes, indeed. There was somebody on the Facebook. I ran a promotion today, and it said my next book is going to be called "Don't Waste Your 20s," right? And then so this man of another persuasion said, "Scam alert." Now I'm like, what could be a scam about saying don't waste your 20s? I guess because people don't want you to know the truth. Please, my people, get empowered. If you know someone that is getting close to their 20s, in their 20s, that is not taking full advantage of their 20s, please tell them. Because it just made me think about our brother Nipsey Hussle, who was killed, and he was 33 years old. Not to mention that Jesus was 33 years old when he too was killed, or 32, but in his 30s as well. So don't get mad at me if I don't have the exact right age. Most of us probably don't, but the point is that Jesus was young. Nipsey Hussle was young. Some of these people are making major moves and they're young. These are young, so I'm saying that we can't waste our 20s. I started my firm in my 20s. Now, my firm is much older. I'm not going to tell you. But it was a long time ago. And what we do in our 20s makes a difference. What we do in every part of our life. But it's so important when we're young to see that when we say, like, I was just reading this article and they were saying, like, look, how much this young man has accomplished, in such a short life. It's sad that we have to pass on in order for people to truly appreciate us as well. So we should make sure that we appreciate our young people now. We cannot take for granted the now that we have. We have to fully embrace it, live in it, maximize it, and make sure that our young people did not just take for granted their 20s or teens. I tell my daughter all the time, what you do now impacts you forever. I have clients who were actually educators when I was in high school, and they're not my client. And I tell my daughter, would they really be my client if they saw in high school that I wasn't focused on my work, that I wasn't appreciating the importance of empowerment and knowledge? My commitment to my community didn't start now. I was in high school setting up programs for us to acknowledge our community and to build our community. And so we as young people, let them know how important what they do right now is. And I say that just to start with. Today's real discussion is about key questions that you should answer before you invest your money. And not just in my regulated investments, but a lot of you are making investments into things that are not regulated. So there's key things, especially in our community. It really hurts me when I hear these bad stories about how we're just putting our money into things that we have no idea what it is. Or you see this person on social media that says, get involved in this investment, or they're buying up these buildings or these properties and send in your money, and people do it. It's unimaginable. They do it. Now, I am an investment advisor. I can advise you on any investment that you are considering once you get under my responsibility. So you first have to have a client investment agreement, or at minimum, a financial planning membership agreement, so that we can do that together, because I am regulated. And then I'm going to help you in asking these key questions about your investments that you're considering. And too often we say, well, it's only $10,000, or it's only my 401k, or it's only anything that involves money. only should not be in the sentence. Anything that involves anything that's important to you, that took years for you to build and accomplish, only is belittling everything that you've put into making this happen. I don't care if it's $1,000, $100, $5. You got to be careful with it. A client told me the other day she did this app and she started investing in this app through this app. And I said, like, you know, she said, oh, and you know, she was telling me about it. And I said, what? She said, oh, it's just $25. I just, you know, somebody told me about it and I just thought I'd do it. And I'm like, but see, that's a bad habit. So that's a bad habit. Who told you that not asking key questions just because it's $25 is not important? I mean, that it's irrelevant, that it's not. No, because that opens the door. It's like, you know, it's a gateway to a problem. As they say with drugs, like there's a gateway drug. That's a gateway problem. I don't want to say anything like, oh, that's stupid or anything like that, because no, I think we're all guilty of wasting some money at some point in our life. But at what point in our life do we decide that I don't want to waste any money anymore? That I don't want to waste my time anymore? That I don't want to waste my life anymore? At what point do you say that? Like, okay, so let's do it. Let's say today. Let's start with today. We're not going to waste anything anymore. And we're going to start asking more questions. Ask questions now, ask questions later, ask questions throughout your experience. If you have a financial advisor that you're working with right now, do you know, like, do you have answered? Make sure you can answer this. Do you have a personal financial roadmap of what you're trying to accomplish? Do you know what you're trying to, do you have it? Answer it. Do you know your comfort zone when it comes to risk taking with investments? Do you know your comfort zone? You know, so are you saying that if I put in $1,000 into this particular investment, because it's $1,000, I don't care about it? Because that's a bad habit. Because $1,000 can turn into hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars. Everything started somewhere. So when you think about risk taking, it shouldn't be about the amount of money. It should be about, do I understand this investment? Do I understand the volatility that comes with this investment? Do I understand my own risk level? I want you to answer all these questions. Do you know how much volatility you can stomach? So as members of AfroEconomics, we really start with doing a risk tolerance quiz. If you haven't done your risk tolerance score, then make sure that we do it so you know your comfort zone. Now, our No Excuse members, yours is absolutely free membership, so you'll have to graduate into the financial planning membership level, but that's what it'll entail. Knowing your, that's my job, to make sure that we get a better understanding of your personal financial roadmap as you graduate to a full membership, and then knowing your risk tolerance comes on that level. And do you know your investment mix? Do you have an investment mix? What is the appropriate investment mix for your risk level? Right? Do you have investments in your work stock, in your employer's stock? Do you have money in that? How much do you have in it? Are you too heavily invested in your company stock? I see that a lot. A big part of the membership is to catch you where you are. So if you're in a work retirement plan, then what we work on a lot is maximizing, helping you maximize your work retirement plan. So make sure that for all of my webinar participants, if you have any questions as we're going along, please don't hesitate to ask me any questions. I'm here for you, and I appreciate you being in the webinar. That's the advantage of it. Ask me a question. If you want to come in and say it face to face, please let me know, because I'm going through these questions. How you doing, Ms. Witherspoon? How are the Andersons doing? How are you, Andrea? How's Barbara? Yes, indeed. How are you, Demetrius? How are you, Ms. Tripp? Yes, indeed. I missed you on Sunday. I was in Maryland working. But I'll be back with the soul of your money on Sunday. How are you, Mr. Cotman? How are you? Don, my sweetheart, how are you? Thank you for logging in. Be safe out there. See you soon. How are you, Mr. Morton? Jenny Jones, Dr. A. Yes, oh, I got DC in the house. Dr. Hicks, how are you, Kay? How are you? Uh-oh, Mr. Jefferson, where have you been? Got the new job and you only see me intermittently. Come on, we need you. We need you. We've missed you. How are you, Rhonda? Miss Cupcake. Yes, how are you? How are you, Miss Common? I missed you today. Yes, I did. And Val Ron. Yes, indeed. The couple that combines their name. You know you're one when you become one in your name. Val Ron. Indeed. Well, I appreciate you all so much. I just wanted to make sure. And to everyone that's on the phone line, how are you? How are everyone that's on the AfroEconomics with JB Bryan Facebook page? Make sure you check it out, indeed. And so let's continue. These are the questions I want you to answer while you're investing, before you invest. This is not like, oh, I asked about that. I calculated my risk tolerance, that one time. But no, in reality, we should be doing a risk score update at least every 6 months. That doesn't mean we have to change your investments every 6 months, but I do need to make sure that I have that updated information. Something could change. You could get frightened about something. You could, I don't know, but we need to do that every 6 months. So let's make sure we do that. And we do our quarterly meetings, either Zoom, phone, something. Let's keep up with this. And then right before I took that break to say briefly hi to some of us, I wanted to make sure that we check out, that you check out your employer stock exposure. Why I bring that? Because we're talking about key questions to ask about your key questions to answer. My question there is, are you investing heavily into your employer's stock? If you are, it may be time to consider looking at that together. Do you maintain a healthy emergency fund? Do you maintain a healthy emergency fund? And when I say healthy, I mean, do you have at least 6 months of your expenses available to you? Not through just a retirement, through the retirement account, or, you could take out a loan if you needed to. No, I mean 6 months of your expenses available to you without having to go through a lot of trouble to get to it, right? Do you understand what dollar cost averaging is? And dollar cost averaging is what you do at your work retirement plans, where you're investing the same amount of money each paycheck. So if you're putting $500 in each paycheck, now I want to go high with it. Yep. You're putting in $500 each paycheck, $1,000 a month, because you're just big like that. And then, you are taking advantage of what's called dollar cost averaging, because it reduces your average cost of your purchases over time, because you're investing when the market is high and you're investing the same amount when the market is low. So when the market is low and you're investing that same high amount, you're able to accumulate a lot more shares. And then when the market goes high, you have these shares that you bought when it was cheap. So you're reducing your average cost over time by consistently investing, no matter how the market conditions are or the price for each share is, because you know that this is a good portfolio. You're not just investing in garbage. This is theoretically that we have set up a good allocation according to your time horizon, your risk tolerance levels, maximize everything that's available to you at work, and now you're putting away money each paycheck. You want to do that, right? Or you could be doing a percentage. You might say, I don't know how much it is, but I'm saving at least 20% of my pay, or I'm saving at least 15 or 10% of my pay, right? So that so let's look at this. Like this, these are some questions that you say you have this money, you're about to make an investment. I want to make sure that you first answer, why am I making this investment? You need to ask that of yourself. Like, what is this for? Because I want to save for my long term. I want to maintain my lifestyle 20 years down the road. What is the purpose for it, right? What's your why? First principle of AfroEconomics, your legacy, determining your why. And then more specifically, now I must remind you, I was motivated to make sure that I brought this topic out because of this group approached me. It was a sorority and they wanted to invest, and they had been putting off investing all the time. Like, I met with them probably 20 years ago. And then it's still 20 years later, they hadn't done anything. So I said, really what you have to do is like ask some questions of the members, ask some questions of the committee, like ask some questions, like what are, and then they said, like, what are the questions? And I was like, you know what? I'll email these questions to you. So then that's how this TV interview about what key questions we could have, all of that. So I was like, hey, and I was volunteering. I was like, nah, I want to do this. I'm going to volunteer my time. I want to help you. You're a nonprofit. I want to help you, and know that I will help a nonprofit. If a nonprofit's not charging their people to come to an event, I will generally go to a nonprofit and do a workshop for them. They're helping the community. I want to help the community. So I was like, if you want to put this money away, first you have to think about, like, why are we putting this money away? What's it for? Why do you want to do that? I think that when you know your why, it's going to help increase the chances of you making that move. You won't just be worried so much about, will it drop in value next month, or because you will have invested it for your specific time horizon. If you're thinking about growing something over the next 20 years because you want to set up an endowment or build this foundation or something, you might need 2 generations to build that. Really? Should you be caught up in short-term changes? No, but sometimes people still are, because they're not educated about the investment options and how growth investments work versus just an interest-bearing CD. So we need to answer that question. How does this investment work? And then you look at TV and you go, they say such and such an index is new record highs, and you're like, I want a piece of that. But you don't understand how it works. First, you have to understand how it works. So we're going to do an index fund. What is the index? What is in the index? Do you understand what that means? Do you understand what the Dow Jones means? Do you understand what the S&P 500 means? Do you understand the investment and how it works? And the investment that you're considering, how does it match with your goals, your specific goals? Are you looking for safety, income, growth, or growth and income? But you got to know what you're looking for and answer that question. What are the risks of the investment that you are considering? Are you comfortable with the risks that are involved with the investment? And you don't have to be. It doesn't matter how much people have made money theoretically, or that you think have made money off that investment. If you're not comfortable with the fact that you might lose some money, then that may not be the investment for you. Or you're not comfortable with the fact that it might say that you can't touch this for 5 years, but you have to first know how this investment works in order to know that. Because you didn't know, because you didn't answer that question. So we have to know what questions to ask. And someone was telling me that one time. They were like, and I truly believe, and research shows, that most people don't get the full performance of the investment because they get out before they get that performance. So I might say that the investment was up 12% over the last 5 years, but the majority of the investors were getting out every 2 years. Well, they didn't get that 5-year performance. So how do you get that five-year performance? Well, research also says that people who do have advisors, and I'm talking about a good advisor, tend to do better. And I think it's because the advisor helps them through these things that change. Like I have clients now that have been with me before 9/11, through 9/11, and on to, today, thank God. And they will tell me, JB, if it weren't for you on 9/11 and pulling together that conference call and we all got together, like, I don't know, because they closed down the stock market and everything. So, I would like to think that I really saved a lot of wealth within the Black community by being available, being on top of my game, having my office call and make sure that everybody was on point, get everybody, on this call at noon. We're going to talk, and people calm down. What are the costs to buy the investment that you're considering? What are the costs to sell the investment? What are the costs to hold the investment that you're considering? What is the taxation on the investment that you are considering? And then what other investments do you already have? What do you already have in your portfolio? So if you're considering adding something else, are you just adding the same thing? Like I see so many people who will have like 10 different growth funds. And when I look at what's in them, they're all made up of the same top 10, stocks. So, that we have to set up a better criteria of how to establish our portfolios. I believe that I can help. I challenge you to make sure that if you're a member, that we do our quarterly meetings and we do that, and that we stay on top of it. You help me stay on top of it. And that you make it to your meetings, that we make it to our members only calls, that you take advantage of all of these resources that are available to you, specifically me. I'm here for you. And then, also, if you have an advisor, make sure that you talk to them. Make sure, everybody on your team isn't really on your team, right? So make sure that you have a good team and that you're staying on top. And then first is like, answer these questions. Do you understand what you have? If you don't, get help. Get the help that you need. Take your money seriously. Take your money seriously. Make those money moves that are needed. Answer these questions. Don't just ask questions. Don't just end the day with the same questions that you started the day with. Don't let tomorrow end, Mr. Martin, without you getting the answers to the things that are important to you. Know your investments. Understand your investments. Nothing ticks me off more is when I ask someone what they're doing and they go, I don't really know. You can't afford to do that. No, I feel that way about what's under the engine of my car, right? But it's not good. We do need to understand the basic things of how these things work. But I don't know, maybe it's because it's what I do, that it's very easy. I think that money is easier and investments are easier to understand. And investments are so highly regulated that it has to be shared with you on how the investment works. If the investment is not regulated, I argue, and if your advisor is not regulated. If you're just talking to someone who says, oh, they're a financial advisor, you need to be careful. You need to ask a question about that. Are you licensed? Because these certifications come a dime a dozen. People have like 100,000 letters behind their name. It does not mean that they're licensed, that they have to be accountable to you. We have to be careful. We need to make sure your family is depending on you to be wise and to be on it when it comes to your family's wealth and your family's future. We can't afford to make any crazy mistakes. Ask the questions, get your answers. You all have been so quiet. I appreciate you all so much. Any questions for me before you go? All I'm saying is, I'm saddened by the fact that my music is not working. I'm hurting y'all. Y'all know I like to play music. Oh, thank you, Kay. I'm glad it is in info. It's good info. Oh, yes, indeed, Ms. Common. I missed you. Brandy, I really enjoy Sunday at sunrise. Yes, well, I look forward to this Sunday at sunrise. Unless, you know what? I'm supposed to be at University of Virginia taking my child around. Ooh, we have Black Alumni Weekend. So Brandy, if it doesn't post, you know why. Because it's spring break. And I was like, I'm going to take her because I'm trying to get her ready for college. Oh my goodness. Yes, and they have stuff planned for Sunday. Yes. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. She said enjoy. I have enjoyed you all. Continue to pray for my mom. Hopefully I'll be taking her home from the hospital tomorrow. Check out the podcast, AfroEconomics. I'm on America's Urban Radio Network. And look up, you'll see JB Bryan, AfroEconomics on AURN.com. How about that, y'all? I'm nationally syndicated. Yes, indeed. JB, tell little JB go to Hampton. We have, and yeah, I don't know about Hampton. You said Hampton has an all-black experience, but UVA has an all-black experience, especially this weekend. It's going to be all-black. It's the all-black alumni weekend. Yes, it is. We have that every 2 years. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Hicks. Please, thank you for your prayers. Yes, indeed. I know. That's indeed. Yes, the real HU, the real UVA. And we look, and I'm going to make sure that she has a real black experience. And one day I'm going to tell you about my real black experience at UVA back when I went all the way live. Yes, I was really doing things, sleeping in shanties and everything. We got them to divest while I was a student. So yes, indeed. Yes, it didn't start. AfroEconomics did not start. It has been in my heart forever. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful night. Don't hesitate to contact me, jb@afroeconomics.com. Have a good one. Miss Douglas, we have got to get together. I know. Yes, I got you. You're on the top. You are very, very important to me. I'm going to make sure Chelsea contacts you tomorrow so we get that, we get back on that. We get on the roll. We get on the roll, and then it's like, something. Always stopping this train. But that's all right. We're going to get that train moving again. Thank you, Dr. A. You have a great evening. So I got you, Miss Douglas. Look for a call if you haven't already gotten on my calendar for next week. You all are the best. Don't forget to do those taxes. That's what I was trying to do this week. I was like, I'm going to finish everything with my taxes. And then it put, my mom in the hospital. So that's why we can't wait till the last minute. So I've gotten, my personals are done. I just haven't hit the submit button. Now I got to work on all my others. You be good to yourself, y'all. Thank you for the opportunity to serve you. Continue to build, continue to love your family. Love your family. Love your family. Have a wonderful one.